leaves aren't how big though.
Okay, how's the form? And welcome to episode number 2 of the Chit Chat podcast with myself, James, and my co-host
Louise.
Woo!
Hey.
Or should I say good day? Because or good night, because we are coming to you from Byron Bay in Australia. So since our last podcast, we've made the jump from Bali to Australia, and we're traveling there at the moment.
Yeah. However, conversation will not be centered around Australia just yet. That'll be a few episodes time, so stay tuned.
And coming up today, or I suppose the title of today's episode will be the Cheesecake Exploration Part 1. And that'll become a little bit more apparent as we get into the food section of the podcast. But I suppose where we're kicking off today is we left Budapest on the last day.
Yep.
And then we arrived in Abu Dhabi.
We did. We arrived very late in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. So late that we just ordered a taxi through booking.com to get us the accommodation because we weren't really faffing around at that stage.
Couldn't be looking at public transport that late in the night.
Yeah, so...
and we also had lots of money at this point.
which is becoming less and less apparent as we go along through the travels.
We no longer take taxis.
We walk everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, we landed, we got the taxi to the hotel in Abu Dhabi. We're staying in a magnificent 5-star hotel on Corniche Street called the Corniche Hotel.
Corniche
Hotel.
Corniche Hotel.
Yes, sorry. We were pronouncing it one way and I think we were being a bit
we
too...
were cocky with our pronunciation. Oh. I'll turn that off.
There's Google Maps telling us where to walk, huh?
She doesn't know where we want to go.
So, yeah, we got to the hotel, lovely hotel, but I suppose
faffing around with our check-in.
Back to COVID measures.
Yeah.
They had these big, massive thermal cameras at the doors, and they were actually at the doors of every shopping centre or major complex up there that just checked the temperatures as you come in, and they looked for your COVID certs, and then we got checked in after a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But I suppose we might chat about the whole transportation system, seeing as we mentioned taxis there.
Yeah, we didn't do taxis all the time now. We're not fools either, do you know? We like to save a few euros here and there. And definitely transport's the best way to do that. So very quickly on, I think it was proper day 1, daylight day number 1.
Yeah.
We found, was it a Halifat card, wasn't it?
That's what
called?
Something
Halifat,
like that, yeah.
We were stranded because it was so freaking hot. We were stranded in...
Oh, the Marina Mall.
Yes,
we had walked there. But yeah, we got to Marina Mall.
We couldn't be walking back.
The temperatures
it was too hot.
Temperatures were insane. It was like 40 degrees and the humidity was insane.
So, we said we couldn't be going for a taxi again. So we had a little look around and found ourselves a Halifat card, which is a public transport card, and I have to say it was excellent.
Yeah, fantastic.
Abu Dhabi is very well mapped out in regards to public transport.
Yeah, and it was 40 AED, which is about €10, for a full week's travel on all the inner city buses.
Yeah.
And the reason I say inner city buses with a bit of explanation there is it doesn't work if you're trying to get out to Yas Island, which we found out when we were trying to get out there. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But for all the inner city travel, from all the way over to the big gallery mall, to the Marina Mall, down to
all
the Emirates Palace, everything we want to be doing.
It's great.
That's what you want, and that's how you get around.
Regular enough, and lovely aircon, good space, good idea.
Yeah.
Good.
And not the taxis were overly expensive. Actually, a decent value.
Madmen though as well.
Taxi men in the AED, I think in general. In the AUD, is that right? Yeah, that's right. I always say that wrong.
No, UAE.
UAE. See, I did say it wrong.
AED is the currency.
In the UAE are a bit mental. So they have little meters in the car telling when they're going over the speed limit.
Which they do frequently.
They just turn up the music.
Turn up the volume so they and we can't hear them.
Which is a little bit mad, but...
But I mean, it gets us there faster, so we weren't complaining,
Yeah, and they're not the worst value the few times we had to use them.
Yeah, no. Definitely, actually, yeah, very decent.
Definitely better than the majority of Europe.
And more, I suppose, locations here in Australia.
Yeah.
Definitely. Everything's fucking cheaper.
A lot better than Australia. So yeah, that's kind of our transportation.
Oh, I smell pizza. It smells so good.
Yeah, so we're walking through the centre of Byron Bay here. It's quite busy actually, busier than I anticipated. You can kind of see the lava sky in the background there.
I know, I feel like people...
It's just good. So I suppose we'll move on to our activities that we kind of went through in Abu Dhabi. As we mentioned the first day, the walk, we walked down to the mall.
Lovely walk, really
great
nice.
walk. Dead.
Absolutely dead, I have to
Not
say.
a sinner in sight.
May is not the time to go to Abu Dhabi. I feel it's
A combination of the
dip in
heat,
tourism.
humidity, there's just no tourism.
Also, their president had recently died, and I feel maybe that was having an influence.
Potentially. There definitely wasn't much of a buzz around the place for locals or tourists.
It wasn't just sinner about.
We walked all along Corniche
Corniche?
Beach. And the Abu Dhabi beach, and there was no one out at all.
Yeah. I mean, well, I do think they thought we were mad anytime they saw us swept away and looking, well, hot messes to be fair. And then they'd be in their lovely aircon buses, taxis, cars, whatever it was, absolutely layered up with their clothes, looking great.
Yeah. Not really a walkable city, now that we mention it. We did walk through a few parks and they were nice. As I said, no one around. Just coming up by a bit of music here. Take that in as we walk by.
We'll just pause now.
Bit of a local tune here. Nice. So coming back to that, not really a walkable
not
city at
accessible by
all.
foot.
It's just everything's so far away from itself. There are footpaths, which is better than Asia, we'll say, for walking, but yeah, not a whole lot around in terms of.
Also, everything's very far away.
Yeah, it's just far from each other. Yeah. So the bus came in quite handy for that. So anyway, walk down to the mall. It was a 10k walk down, I think. Or probably way too far for people to walk in that heat. We were a bit mad, but we did go early in the morning.
Yeah, well.
Early-ish.
Other activities. Well, we mentioned Yaz Island. That's a cool spot for some grub.
It's a bit more touristy.
Yeah, I mean, not just grub. They have loads of amusement parks and stuff like there. Another big mall, but wasn't really what we were after. But we did enjoy the vibe.
Yeah. We ended up arriving at the mall initially because, as we said, the bus doesn't work to get out there. So we had got a taxi, but the taxi didn't know where we wanted to go. So we just told him bring us to the mall, assuming we could walk from the mall to the marina.
Trapped in the mall.
And
the only word for it.
The mall is not pedestrian accessible at all. So you have to get a taxi out of it again. So we had to get a taxi down to the marina. We then had a nice little walk around the marina and got some food in the marina.
Now, thankfully, the marina was pedestrianised. We were able to have a nice little walk around there. And it was actually recommended to us by our friend Chloe. And she gave us a nice little spot to go for some early bird deals. So we got great value for money there. Yeah. Everything was half price, which is the only way you can afford to eat in Abu Dhabi. Maybe not to eat, maybe to drink. To drink in Abu Dhabi.
Yes, yeah.
We enjoyed a lovely glass of wine and some delicious food. One
of the few places serving alcohol readily. There's alcohol available in Abu Dhabi, but you need to know the spots.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places where you might expect it to be, and it's just not. Yeah. But yeah, it was there. We had a lovely night there.
Other activities then, we also went to the Emirates Palace.
Oh, that was nice.
So, hot tip for Emirates Palace, you must have your shoulders and knees covered if you're a female.
And your knees covered if you're a male.
Yes, you took choices as well. Yeah.
So we had to get suited and booted that night to go to the palace.
So, well, actually we tried to go the night beforehand and we turned away because we did not have our knees covered, either of us. Even though I thought my outfit was very, very decent. I dressed very decent for the whole of Abu Dhabi, trying to cover my shoulders the whole time. And the shorts were nearly, halfway down my thighs as well. But it wasn't good enough anyway to get into the palace. So we said we'd come back the next day and we looked at our spot and we got some food, what was it called?
Oh, it was Middle Eastern food. I think it was the mesni.
Oh yeah.
And we went in there.
Beautiful.
It was the most affordable food they have loads of restaurants in the palace and loads of shops. It's nearly like a mall in itself as well as a hotel. It's a very peculiar place. But anyway, it was the most affordable food and it was the type of food that we wanted. We wanted to try more Middle Eastern food.
I have to say both the palace, internal and external decor is fab. We had a great time. Yeah. We really enjoyed walking around and just having a bit of extra access with the restaurant as well was great. It was really like doing an activity in itself. And also, oh my god, we love Middle Eastern food.
It's amazing.
It was something that we never had any experience with before, but I think we can both confidently say it's something we want to have a lot of experience with in the future.
Yeah, there's loads of flatbreads and hummuses and kebabs and shawarma. It's just,
Oh, class.
never really had
All the bread.
any shawarma before then, and
No.
I think we're very much in love.
Between Greek food in the last episode and now Middle Eastern food,
And
this one.
a bit of a vibe between them. They're quite
Yeah,
similar
they're-
foods as well, to be
They
fair.
are. They're not that far away from each other. Really good. Really good.
Yeah. Really enjoyable night, and definitely recommend getting into the palace.
Oh my God.
Get your gear,
Get yourself
in.
in there.
You know,
one
even
way or
if it is,
another.
I was boiling wearing
Cover
good
those
trousers and
knees.
a long shirt, a long sleeve shirt, but it was worth it.
Yeah, cover those knees, guys. Cover those knees.
Yeah. So anyway, coming back to the rest of our and more so the
it's so
title of the podcast. We mentioned that we went to the Marina Mall. We frequently
Oh my God, the mall.
went to malls, and the Gallery Mall
malls,
is the
yeah.
one that we frequented probably 3 days anyway.
My favourite mall.
And the reason for this was that
The
it
Cheesecake Factory.
yes. So cheesecake is somewhat of a.
It's the whole reason we're together. Let's not lie.
It is something that I use. I use the Cheesecake Factory itself to help court Louise back in the early days.
And it worked very effectively, I have to say.
It's a great conversation restarter and continuation, and
a picture of a cheesecake.
it's just good. And especially we both really enjoy cheesecake. We're cheesecake enjoyers
We're enjoyers and critiquers.
and critiquers.
I have to
Yes.
say, I would say 7 times out of 10, you don't get a great cheesecake.
No, unless we make them.
Unless, 10 out of 10. if
10,
we're-
yeah.
Oh, 10 out of 10 getting good cheesecake.
Yeah. But anyway, so we found this on the first day. After going to the Marina Mall, we ended up getting a bus to the Gallery
Well,
Mall.
now, I had actually researched this when
So
we were in Budapest.
We found it in inverted commas.
Since the research found that there was cheesecakes in the UAE, which was very exciting. So obviously pinned them all down and had discovered that this one was the closest one to us. We could reach it by public transport, so it was free to get out there. So why wouldn't you go for a cheesecake?
So day 1, Cheesecake Factory. Now, we had kind of decided in advance that
We'd have a bit of lunch there as
going
well.
to have a little bit of lunch. So I had got
Or dinner, like our
Chipotle.
dinner, but at lunchtime, yeah.
I got a Chipotle pasta, and you
Yeah.
got you got the starter version
version.
of the Buffalo Blast.
Yeah, they're delish.
Now, unreal,
Unreal, like calorific, but
worth it
incredible, yeah.
for a day or two,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you couldn't continue to do it.
Oh my God, no, you'd be rolling over there.
Yeah, but no, really tasty, really nice, and then for the first ever cheesecake from the Cheesecake
so
Factory.
Good. Oh, so good. I want a piece right now.
Yeah, we went on my recommendations.
Yeah.
So my favorite one when I had a couple in America was the Adams peanut butter cheesecake.
Oh, it's so good.
And I
Like,
think
it's probably. Well, we don't want to disclose too much
No.
now, but it was peaky.
it was up there. It was up there as one of the best. So we started off on a good one. Louise was really elated.
Oh my
And
God.
as we were leaving, Louise was like, should we get another one to bring back? I was like, no, let's, steady ourselves.
You see, when you think of something, you build something up in your head for years. And when I say years, it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
It's been built in my head for 4 years. Well, longer than that.
Probably
Like, I knew it
longer.
existed, but like,
I really teased
you
it
had
out in 4
teased
years.
it
Yeah.
for 4 years.
Yeah.
So you think it's going to be, you hope it's not going to be, but you kind of think at the back of your head it could be a disappointment. And this was everything. It was everything I wanted it to be. So why wouldn't I want to get another cheesecake?
That's true. Now we will just state that we did share it.
We did share it, yes.
And the reason for that being is that we didn't want to roll into the next country.
The reason for that was that we thought we'd get through more cheesecakes if we shared them.
More flavors together.
Yeah.
In fairness, yeah. So anyway, we
Also, a disclosure, Cheesecake Factory ain't cheap.
no, that's true.
It's not like huge expensive, but it ain't cheap.
So we kind of put off having it that day, so we'd come back the next day.
Oh yeah.
But as we were leaving, we spotted something out of the corner of an eye.
There's a glimpse of the corner of my eye.
This is another. I don't want to say fetish of Louise's.
So James had never heard of it, but I like to, look up nice foods on Instagram all the time. And one that had come up a lot of times. I don't think I actually followed them, but I've stalked them a fair few times. Was the Magnolia Bakery of New York originally, and they do a banana bread pudding And I've never had banana bread pudding. I mean, like I've only had banana bread in recent years, but it looked so good.
Now,
So good.
you had said this to me, and I was like, banana bread pudding, it doesn't
What?
sound amazing.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, like you need to see it. So like I got out the phone, showed James it. You know, once he saw it, he was on board. Great. We said we'd come back the next day and we have a little bit of that.
As our breakfast.
As our breakfast.
As our
obviously.
breakfast.
Who would have banana pudding as like, you know, a dessert?
So yeah, the next day we got the bus back to the Gallery Mall.
Yeah.
We got the banana pudding. We shared one, a small one. We were being clever. But he had heated it up. He had heated up, and it was divine.
Like the only word for it is divine.
Yeah, it was divine. I got an iced black coffee and an iced Americano. I asked for an iced coffee. I didn't expect it to come black, but it was actually really nice. And it was really, oh, bless you.
Hey, that was more than a real sneeze. First one was very ladylike.
I said, the coffee really nicely accompanied the banana
James,
pudding.
forget the coffee.
Go on. But anyway,
Banana pudding was sensational.
it was. So much so that was our plan for breakfast the next
Every
day.
Like so much so that I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I like prefer banana bread pudding over cheesecake. Like that's how good it was. Like I was having a crisis of identity. I
Well,
was rethinking my life.
if you were rethinking it then,
Yeah.
I can't imagine what was going through your head after we got our second cheesecake. So we got a takeaway cheesecake to come back
We did.
to the hotel.
Because
so
we're
we can
not
have a cup
monsters, we're not animals.
one of the main reasons for that is we love our Lion's tea.
We wanted tea. That's the only reason we didn't eat it
And
there.
our Lion's tea with cheesecake is something.
Oh, peak, yeah.
Yeah. You want your tea with something sweet, and it makes
Delish.
everything. It makes the cheesecake better, makes the tea better. It's just a great experience.
Yeah.
So we got something that Louise had been dreaming about for the 4 years, for the 4+ years.
Yeah.
And it was the red velvet
red
cheesecake.
velvet. Oh.
Now, I thought it looked well online. I thought it looked well, but when I saw it in America before, I had never had it. But on the day, and every day in the UAE, it just didn't look appealing to me at all.
Now, to me, as a red velvet cake absolute lover, it looked good to me. I thought it looked great. I thought it looked really, really good. And as someone who's been wanting it for, like I said, at least 4 years now, I was very, very excited. And I was also sadly very, very disappointed. Definitely the worst of the cheesecakes.
Yeah, no, I was not a big fan either. I don't even think we finished it between us, and that is saying something.
So
that is saying something.
rich, but not in like a good way. I don't know. It's just so much going on.
Yeah, it was the icing as well. The cake was
sickly,
fine.
sickly.
The icing was sickly. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, what a waste of money. Well, not was it. Like I said, I think did we finish it? What a waste of an experience.
Might have finished it over 3 days.
Yeah,
Left it in the fridge. Just picked at it a little bit to see. Oh, it might be nicer now.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Maybe it's chilled enough. 3 days in.
So we ruled that one off. We ticked that down as one cheesecake good, one cheesecake bad.
We are way too into this cheesecake talk. This is taking up way too much time of this podcast. Okay, third cheesecake. We had one more.
Well, the next morning we did the same again.
We did the same again.
But that morning we got the banana pudding. I also got a avocado toast because I was just like, I kind of want something a bit more savoury.
James has notions.
I'm a recent avocado toast enjoyer, and
it's quite obsessive.
It's not that obsessive.
Anytime we go anywhere for food, it's like, do they have avocado toast?
Okay. Moving along. Again, banana pudding, phenomenal. Avocado toast, phenomenal. Magnolia Bakery, best place to go.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Moving on to the Cheesecake Factory, we got another one to take away.
We did.
We had other activities throughout the day. I can't remember what they were.
Me either. I just remember the food. We're talking about food now. It's okay. We don't need to talk about exercise.
So we got the Snickers cheesecake. Same again, back to the hotel with a cup of tea. All right. Now, I had this one before. I thought it was quite nice. It's quite chocolatey in terms of a peanut butter cheesecake. It's probably as chocolatey as it gets.
It's too much, guys. It's really sad.
Yeah.
We have made Snickers cheesecake before, and we make a bomb. Chicken.
Chicken?
Snickers cheesecake, like so good. And like I think it's because we focus on the peanuts and the peanut butter. But no, there's way too much chocolate going on. Too rich again.
The chocolate cream on top, I think,
when you kind of
was a
took
bit much
off
for you.
the chocolate bit, it was good.
Yeah.
But why would you want to take off the cheesecake you spend money on? Like that just makes no sense.
Well, I am a chocolate enjoyer. I, for the most part, enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And liked it, but again, it wasn't for you.
No. It wasn't my. Sorry, obviously, lots of people out there enjoy that, but I do not like really rich chocolate. And like I do enjoy a chocolate cake, but no, this wasn't for me.
Yeah. So sadly, leaving Abu Dhabi, we've tried 3 cheesecakes. Louise has only liked 1 out of the 3 from the Cheesecake Factory. It was not
a great start.
It's not a good start, and that's what we call it, a start.
A start.
Because the next location that we'll talk about on the next podcast and
Dubai,
is Dubai, and the title of that podcast will be the Cheesecake Exploration Part 2.
And there's even more cheesecake factories in Dubai.
So we will
with much more success second half. That's just a teaser for everyone.
we'll come back to the cheesecakes on that podcast.
Should we turn around?
We should probably turn around.
Yeah.
Just to wrap up this one,
scenic.
I suppose.
We've done so many scenic walks, but it's just hard, when you're breathless and sweaty to be getting out the phone to record.
It's not easy on the short path or the skinny paths either, because we kind of need to be beside each other to talk. And if we're on a skinny path where we need to be giving way, it just doesn't work. So, unfortunately, you've got the short end of the straw in terms of what you're looking at tonight, folks. But hopefully, the conversation about the cheesecakes is riveting.
The cars aren't too loud.
Yeah, no, I'm sure the mics are holding their own. Yeah, they're supposed to be good for that.
Okay, was there anything else you wanted to cover about Abu Dhabi now?
I suppose just to a quick review. Transport-wise, taxis are good value, but the buses within the city really good value.
Definitely worthwhile. Yeah.
Worthwhile. It doesn't cover the bus out to Yas Island. Now we got a taxi out because we didn't have internet to figure out how to get the ticket for the other buses. Because when I came, we tried to tap on, it didn't work. So maybe look into that, get that bus, it'd be easier.
Yeah.
The malls are fantastic.
Oh, great aircon.
They're air conditioned, food.
Very Americanized.
Very Americanized, but they're huge and they look amazing.
Yeah.
Loads of wealth.
Yeah.
And
it's a good spot for like a rest.
Don't go to Abu Dhabi in May or June, maybe not July. I'm not sure about July.
We had a great time. I wouldn't say don't go. I would say if your goal is, to have a refreshing time, definitely don't go that month. And if your goal is to be really social and meet lots of other tourists, definitely don't go that time either. So it depends on what you're looking for. It did us no harm. We were in and out 4 days there, a great amount of time, enjoyed it, but we'd had enough when we were leaving.
Yeah.
I think also, noting the clothing, we have said it's more conservative. And I think if you've been to Dubai before, you should know that Abu Dhabi is more conservative than its neighbour. And a few times feeling a little bit uncomfortable when wearing, shorter clothing. So you don't want to be that tourist that's, insulting people or feeling uncomfortable in yourself. So it's just easier to, wear slightly longer.
Conform a little bit and just respectful of their culture, but also then you won't have eyes on you as well.
Yeah.
For
your own comfort.
Yeah, exactly. It's more that really, but it's nice to be respectful to their culture too.
Also, definitely, yeah.
And
I mean, it doesn't take too much to cover up shoulders.
No.
A t-shirt's grand, and a decent pair of shorts, but fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Abu Dhabi, folks.
Yeah, I think it is.
And as I said, it's the Cheesecake Exploration Part 1. We do focus a little bit on cheesecake, but sure, look it. It's what brings us joy, so hopefully it brings you joy.
Bring us together.
What brought us together and what keeps us together, right?
Actually, it's National Cheesecake Day in 3 days' time.
Oh, very interesting.
Fun fact.
We might release this on that day. Hey.
Release it. Where the fuck is this going? Anyway.
All right, folks. Slán go fóill, agus we'll see you in the next one.
Ihoa.
Ihoa.